You know, we live in a really interesting time on the internet where even just the minorest of disagreements will get you called things like racist or misogynist or my personal favorite, literal Nazi, which is ironically the main antagonist in the upcoming Indiana Jones video game. Which the developer, Machine Games, has, well, they want to make damn sure you know that they don't support their actions.
Stop it. Get some help.
Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and yeah, if you hadn't heard, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle to feature disclaimer clarifying that the developer, Machine Games' decision to use Nazis as enemies should not be in any way construed to condone, glorify, or endorse their ideology. Now, whoa. You're telling me that you're gonna make a video game with Nazis as the bad guys, and you're not endorsing their ideology? Is that how that works? I'm pretty sure even the most ardent of leftists, even the most permanently online of individuals would know, yeah, no shit. Like, I've never watched Raiders of the Lost Ark and thought, I'm rooting for the Nazis. I've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark a lot of times. It's my favorite movie next to Army of Darkness. Yeah, it's so strange to need to put a disclaimer at the beginning of your video game saying we don't agree with Nazis when that's like, regardless of your politics, probably the default for 99% of humans. So, yeah, Spence, thanks for covering this, because this might quite literally be the most retarded thing I've seen in gaming all day. And Dragon Age the Veilguard drops today, so we're going to get to this article before we do hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel, I cover nerdy news every day, and, let's just grit our teeth and get through this. For the most people, it's understood that when a creator chooses to depict something evil in a piece of fiction, especially when something is also portrayed in-universe as explicitly bad, said creator is not endorsing a given behavior or ideology, but rather using it for narrative purposes, often to contrast the moral differences between a protagonist and their opposition. I reject this premise, Spence. I reject this. Are you trying to tell me that when I watch Empire Strikes Back and I see Darth Vader cut off Luke Skywalker's hands, that it's not endorsing child abuse? I was taking parenting advice from this. I truly thought that this movie was saying, Leon, it's okay to use corporal punishment as long as you're doing so in a way that will bend children to your will, that will make them agree with the way you see the world. Make your children come to the dark side, everybody, because that's what Darth Vader has taught you as world's greatest dad. That is clearly the message of Empire Strikes Back. Right? I'm pretty sure that's how it works. However, if the same apparently does not ring true for video game industry's modern audience, as like many games before it, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will feature a very performative disclaimer assuring players that despite developer Machine Games' decision to put the iconic archaeologist against the historical Nazi regime, like he was in quite literally almost every film, by the way. Of the 5 films, I think there's 2 where the bad guys aren't Nazis. The studio themselves does not endorse it in any way, shape, or form. You know shit. Like, I would, again, just assume that is the default for your company, for your corporation. Imagine if Capcom came out with the most recent, latest banger Resident Evil game. Like, hey, buy our awesome zombie horror survival game, everybody, which is totally going to be made for the fans this time and not just be a glorified FPS. Also, Hitler rules, bro. Someone's going to clip that. Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. Even, let's just say that, hypothetically, maybe there is actually some major CEO of a gaming corporation out there that is full-on pro-Third Reich. They ain't gonna come out and say it. People are just gonna assume, yeah, you know, I would bet these guys ain't a fan of the extermination of 6 million Jewish people. That's a pretty good baseline assumption to make about most people. Although, let's take a moment to not forget communism. I would actually make the argument that communism, worse than Nazism, killed a whole lot more people. And if we're just going by hard numbers, I'm just saying, it's worth considering. The existence of said disclaimer was first unearthed courtesy of video game chronicler Jordan Midler, who came across Machine Games' message during his recent playthrough of the game as conducted during a recent Machine Game Press Day. According to Midler, despite the game itself tasking players with physically fighting the many Nazis that any may come across in this adventure, as well as including a game mechanic that allows the player to physically burn various Nazi-related propaganda posters, upon booting up the Great Circle, players met with assurance from Machine Games that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a fictional story inspired by historical events and characters. Names, characters, organizations, locations, and events are either imaginary or depicted in a fictionalized manner, not intended to disrespect any historical or cultural beliefs. Get the fuck out of here with that weak sauce. You got a apparent game mechanic where the shtick is burning Nazi propaganda materials. And you're all like, just so we know, everybody, just so you know, we're good people over here working for Bethesda. We don't support the Nazis. I mean, if you did, you'd be doing it terribly by putting an in-game mechanic where you burn your own fucking propaganda posters. This is so stupid. Further in the statement, presumably penned in order to head off accusations of fascist support. How would it be fascist support? You're fighting them. Indiana Jones is the hero. Unless it is fascist to punch Nazis because they are technically a minority in the modern day and age. I mean, look, I could see some weird-ass twisted leftist logic of being like, well, you know, a minority is somebody without power, and it's people who are low on the totem pole, and who there aren't very many of them. Well, Nazis have no power nowadays, and historically, there are less of them in the U.S. now than there ever has been because we've sort of eradicated Nazism, which is a problem. So Nazis are minorities now. Like, and punching them is fascist. That's some retarded ass backwards logic, but I wouldn't put it past the left to just say or do something stupid like that. But that's, again, I'm just trolling at this point because I can't take this shit seriously whatsoever. I was actually looking forward to this game. I really was. I know it's modern day Bethesda. I know they had a homie come out there with a fucking Bethesda ass rainbow logo shirt. It was like for the modern gaming audience, and it's probably gonna be Sweet Baby Inc. involved, or one of those other consultation companies. I know I'm probably not gonna end up playing it, but I really wanted this to be good, and it might still be good. Just this disclaimer shit's really stupid. Troy Baker actually is doing a really good Harrison Ford impression. It looks like a good Indiana Jones story, and considering how the most recent film is quite literally my least favorite film ever made, yeah, I'm kind of craving good indie because I am a massive Indiana Jones fan. Hot take, the Indiana Jones trilogy is actually better than the Star Wars trilogy. Very, very rarely do I say that. It's not something to be said lightly, but the point is, bro, this game is fucking cooked. Presumably penned in order to head off accusations of fascist support that would surely have been leveled towards them by the more reactionary and terminally online wing of the American left, presents itself when booting up the Great Circle, also explains the more pearl-clutching among the game's audience that its story and contents are not intended to and should not be construed in any way to condone, glorify, or endorse the beliefs, ideologies, events, actions, or persons or behavior of the Nazi and fascist regimes, nor any other regimes, or to trivialize any war crimes, genocide, and other crimes against humanity. Guys, I don't know if you remember or not. It's the Indiana Jones game. The premise is all these different special locales around the globe make a fucking circle, and you as Indiana Jones and your new partner in crime gotta get to whatever archaeological and probably mystical shit before the Nazis do. Ain't nobody playing this game gonna be like, the Nazis make a good point. I should fly to the Great Pyramids of Egypt and see what artifacts I can uncover that will help me eradicate all the black people in the world. Let's go Aryan race, fight on, my brothers. Like, that's, no one's picking this game up and thinking that shit. But again, they feel the need, they think that you, the gamer, are so stupid that you need this message. Or even worse, they don't think you're stupid, and this would truly be the worst option. They don't think you're stupid. No, they just want to virtue signal that hard because it makes them feel good. Them patting themselves on the back to that regard is good for them. It makes them look great to their liberal, lefty, Bay Area, California crowd where all these games are being made. And that's what it boils down to. Like, it's being made by a bunch of people who are DEI hires, who are diversity hires, who have no concept of what modern gaming is like, what the modern gaming industry is like outside of their little personal bubble, and they just assume Nazism runs rampant everywhere. So the virtue signal is there. It has to be there. Because again, otherwise, the only option is they truly do think you are that dumb. And man, with modern gaming being what it is, I really couldn't put it past them. But those are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not normally news that is so just downright retarded, but sometimes an article catches your eye and you're like, yes, this has to be talked about. This has to be trolled. This has to be mocked and shamed, because that is the only way we're gonna take culture back from these morons. Mock and shame. Beyond that, check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord, choose the articles I go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos I react to on my Friday night live streams, and of course get involved with over 140 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow even further because we do care about diversity. Only one kind of diversity of thought. If that's interesting to you, join the Discord, hit subscribe, and until next time, it is all here in the Nervosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.